Okay, look, I get it. Reboots, remakes, and revivals are Hollywood's comfort food. We're living in the age of nostalgia, where everything old eventually comes back, just shinier, louder, and somehow featuring Jacob Scipio. I completely understand the appeal of updating classic stories for a younger, trendier audience. Not everyone's gonna dig through the archives for a 1940 black and white rom-com, right? People want something fresh, something relatable, something they can post memes about. But there is a fine line between a revival and a rehash. And sadly, Maintenance Required, the 2025 remake of You've Got Mail, crosses that line with the force of a car that just lost its brakes. So, let's start with the basics. Maintenance Required is the latest adaptation of a story that's been recycled more times than a used spark plug. It all began with the 1937 Hungarian play Parfumerie by Miklos Laszlo, a delightful little romantic farce about two people who despise each other at work but unknowingly fall in love through anonymous letters. Then came Ernst Lubitsch's The Shop Around the Corner in 1940, a Jimmy Stewart-led masterpiece that turned that simple idea into one of the most charming films ever made. Fast forward to 1998, and Nora Ephron gives us You've Got Mail, the internet age reimagining where Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks fall in love over AOL emails while running rival bookstores. It's cozy, clever, and genuinely timeless. And now, in 2025, we have Maintenance Required, the modern version, set into rival auto repair shops. Yeah, you heard that right. From bookstores to body shops, from letters to texts, from Meg Ryan to Madelaine Petsch. So, does it work? Well, let's just say this car needs more than an oil change. Our protagonist is Charlotte, or Charlie, played by Riverdale's Madelaine Petsch. She's inherited her late father's beloved auto shop, O'Malley's, a female-led garage in Oakland that's become a haven for women who don't want to be talked down to by mechanics named Chad. Charlie's joined by her best friend Cam, who's tough, flirty, and effortlessly funny, and Izzy, played by Madison Bailey, the nail-painting receptionist who moonlights as the emotional glue of the group. Together, they make O'Malley's feel like a real place, full of banter, chaos, and personality. But across the street, corporate evil looms. Enter Bo, the charming, suit-wearing shark who works for Miller Boys, a massive chain of repair shops run by cartoon villain Jim Gaffigan. His mission? To open a new Miller Boy shop right across from O'Malley's and crush the competition. The twist? Charlie and Bo are already falling for each other online, anonymously, texting as two car enthusiasts who've sworn not to reveal personal details. Sound familiar? Yeah, that's literally You've Got Mail with grease stains and emotional flat tires.
Now, remakes are totally fine when they add something new, a modern lens, a different cultural context, or a fresh emotional truth. But Maintenance Required doesn't do that. It just swaps out the set dressing and calls it a reboot. The result? A movie that looks shiny on the outside but is hollow under the hood. Charlie is written as the classic not like other girls archetype. Tough, hot, emotionally unavailable, yet somehow always perfectly styled. The film wants her to be both tomboy and bombshell, but it never makes sense. There's even a scene where a customer mistakes her for someone waiting for a manicure, and it's supposed to be funny irony, except it just highlights how unrealistic her character design is. And Bo? He's a walking contradiction, a ruthless capitalist who loves vintage cars and secretly wants to make them electric for the planet. Pick a lane, my dude. For a romantic comedy, there's surprisingly little romance or comedy. The chemistry between Petsch and Scipio is fine. There are moments of flirtatious tension, but the dialogue is so on the nose it could strip paint. And when the big reveal happens, when Charlie realizes Bo is her anonymous text buddy, it's not romantic. It's frustrating. Because the movie never earns that emotional payoff. Why is every modern rom-com allergic to honest conversation? The entire third act hinges on a misunderstanding that could be fixed with a single message. Hey, are you the guy from Miller Boys? Yeah. Roll credits. Instead, we get a 90-minute cycle of denial, deceit, and conveniently timed coincidences that make you want to yell, "Just talk to each other!" And here's the real shame. Buried underneath this uneven writing is a great idea. A female-led garage? Amazing. Women supporting each other in a male-dominated space? Love that. Exploring how small businesses survive against corporate giants? Timely and relevant. But Maintenance Required doesn't trust those themes enough to let them breathe. Instead, it uses them as aesthetic decoration while focusing on a romance that feels outdated. Katy O'Brien and Madison Bailey absolutely steal every scene they're in, but they're treated like background noise, side characters orbiting a story that doesn't value them. Their energy could have powered a far better subplot about friendship, identity, or even grief. And speaking of grief, Charlie's backstory with her father's death should have been the film's emotional engine, but it's barely explored beyond a few quick flashbacks and a Bronco restoration montage. Let's compare for a second. When Nora Ephron remade The Shop Around the Corner as You've Got Mail, she didn't just change the medium from letters to email, she reframed the story through the lens of corporate expansion versus independent artistry. It was romantic and socially relevant. It was funny and introspective. But what does Maintenance Required have to say? That men are the worst? That texting is confusing? That capitalism is bad but electric cars are good? It flirts with meaningful ideas, but it never commits. The satire isn't sharp, the romance isn't believable, and the heart of the story feels missing. A good reboot should translate its story for a new generation, not just copy-paste it with new slang and lighting. Look, I don't want to sound cruel. Movies are hard to make. I respect the effort, the craft, and the ambition it takes to bring any story to life. But Maintenance Required tested my patience. It's the cinematic equivalent of a car with a custom paint job, but no engine. All shine, no soul. The cast deserved better, the story deserved depth, and the audience deserved emotion. The few bright spots, like the chemistry between the women of O'Malley's and Scipio's natural charisma, can't save it from feeling like an AI-generated rom-com that forgot what human connection looks like. So if I had to rate it, 1.5 stars. Half a star for the performances, 1 star for the Bronco, 0 for the writing. At the end of the day, Maintenance Required is a perfect metaphor for itself. You can replace all the old parts, slap on a shiny new name, and rev the engine all you want. But if there's no real spark, no emotional horsepower, it's not going anywhere. And honestly, I'd rather rewatch You've Got Mail for the 50th time, because at least Tom Hanks never tried to sell me a muffler. Anyway, that's all from me. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Maintenance Required. Did you find anything redeemable in it, or are you as emotionally broken down as Charlie's Bronco? If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell.